Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Olga St. Pierre. I am a realtor with Keller Williams Real Estate right here in our community. I would like to welcome you to today's workshop on discussing how sellers can prepare and plan their perfect move and make it as stress-free as possible. So today, that's what we're going to talk about, is step-by-step on how we can get this done right and to make sure that you can net the most amount of money possible. Just a little bit about us and our team. I've been licensed in the state of New Jersey as well as Pennsylvania for the last 11 years. And we really truly believe that everyone with some planning can own a home and then become a responsible and sustainable homeowner. And we're here to support you in this journey. We do have really good relocation services. If you are moving anywhere in US and Canada, we're happy to get you in touch with someone who can help you in your new destination as well. Also, think of us as your virtual yellow pages. We have really good concierge services available to you. Anyone that you can think of to help you with regards to homeownership or in our community, we have those resources available as well. Anyone from contractors to attorneys to financial planners, anyone you can think of, we are happy to advise you and give you some suggestions. So what does it take to have a successful home sale? Here's what we're going to talk about today. Here's your strategic plan. Number one, even if you are a few years out from your deadline, from your target time frame, it does make sense to schedule an appointment and speak with your chosen real estate agent now. That way you can go over everything that you need to know. Your moving plans, your time frames, what does the market look like in your neighborhood right now? Is there any work that might be needed on your home? Then actually deciding when you need to put your plan in action. What does that time frame looks like? Then we're going to work on making sure that your home is definitely set apart from the competition, and there's a game plan for that. Then about 30 to 60 days, sitting down with your agent, making sure that your paperwork is in order, the appointments are scheduled, your work is done if that was necessary. And then once your home does go on the market, we're going to congratulate you and then talk about what happens next, right? Because it's not like you are done and you can just, take a sigh of relief. Unfortunately, no, the work is just beginning. So, step number one, let's talk about your actual moving plan, your time frames, and your market analysis. Here are some questions that I, as an agent, would ask you, my client, when we sit down to talk about it. And it makes sense for you to get a notebook for your moving plan so that way you can jot down some of your ideas, some of your thoughts. That way it'll help you with your planning. What I'm going to ask you is, what are your plans? Where are you planning on moving? Because it does make a difference if you're going to tell me that you are upsizing into a bigger home or downsizing in something smaller. If you're planning on staying in our community, or you're going to be moving maybe into the nearby state, or you're planning to relocate into Florida, or maybe even further to California. It does make a difference because of the distance and helping you with your moving plans. Are you going to be downsizing or you're going to be buying a bigger home? That makes a difference as well. Financing. If you're going to be going into a new home, do you have to sell your current home in order to be able to buy a new one? If you have a target area, what does that market look like? How competitive is it going to be for you to find something in your target destination? All those things need to be discussed at your meeting so that we can help you be better prepared when you're going to have potentially two transactions running side by side. You're going to be selling a home, and then at the same time, potentially you're going to be buying a home. Also, who is on your team? And what I mean by that is, do you need some contractors to help you do some renovations in your home, if that makes financial sense? Do you need help decluttering and organizing, potentially packing some things away? If you have some valuables that you don't plan to take with you and you would like to sell, do you have somebody that you can potentially consult to see if those valuables are truly valuable and where you can sell them? So that's what I mean by team. Also, what are your expectations? What are the most important things to you? And this is where we talk about either if it's important for you to sell for the highest amount possible, or are you looking for the shortest time frame? It all depends on ultimately where you plan and where you're going. Important time frames for everyone to know and to be aware of. And what I mean by that is if we sit down and you're going to tell me, I already bought my home in Florida, I'm going to be moving there in June. Well, that is now 2 months from now, and you are looking to sell your home as quickly as possible. So in this situation, what's more important for you is to quickly get your home ready and put it on the market versus taking the time, because the time is important for you. So that's what we're going to discuss. Then it's important to go over the market analysis for your neighborhood, for your home, and potentially for your whole township where you live in your school district. And it's important for you to see what that looks like for the last 12 months. Even if you're not planning on making a move now, or maybe at the end of the year or next year, it will give you a good idea and help you plan your strategy. Because one of the questions that I get asked the most is, when is the best time to sell? And my answer to you is always going to be, when is the best time for you, depending on where you're going and what you want to be in your new destination. So that's what we do, is we talk about what do the 12 months look like in your neighborhood? How does the seasons fluctuate? What does that look like in terms of actual data and numbers to help you? And then we talk about a strategic selling price range for your home to give you an idea what to expect, how much time it's going to take to sell your home, and how much time it's going to take from the time you go into contract until you actually move out of your home. Step number 2, we're actually going to put your timeframes in action. If you're telling me that you're not planning on moving in the year, however, there are some renovations that may be needed in your home, we're going to work backwards to determine when does it make sense for you, time-wise and financially, to start making this work in your home, to make sure that you get this done right, to make sure that it makes sense financially and you have the time to shop for contractors and get some bids in, and then working backwards to make sure that we get everything done without being stressed out. And that's what I mean by working backwards from that date, right? Because the goal is, when your home does go on the market, the goal is absolutely to have your home 300% ready for sale. Not catching up once it's on the market, but once it goes and it's ready, it's 100% ready and everything is ready to go. The time frame to complete your updates and repairs, which contractors you're going to use. Trust me, it's a lot easier to be able to take your time and shop for contractors, be able to get 2 or 3 bids from each one, depending on the work that you think you may need to get done in your home. One of the best times to get your contractors, get their bids in and do the work is fall and winter. That's when most contractors are slow, because spring and summer is generally our real estate high season. And good contractors are not going to return your phone calls most of the time because they're just busy. They don't have time to do estimates. So fall and winter is the good seasons for you to get your bids in, to decide what you're going to do and actually schedule that work. And you know, when you are working with good contractors, a lot of the times they may be 3, 4, 5 months out. So that's why it's important that you give yourself enough time to make these plans and then put them actually to work for you. Are there any important time frames to know and remember that we need to discuss and look at, right? So those are the things that we're going to be continuously discussing in the time frame that we're going to be staying in touch while we are working on getting you home and your family ready for that move in the near future. We will also go over the market analysis and actually talk about, what happened in season fluctuations and make sure that you are okay with everything, and then work out the price. All right, step 2, we're going to continue. Number 1 important thing, whether you're moving now or 6 months or in 12 months, you are going to need to declutter. That is the first step for everyone. It is very important for you to realize that this is something that you can do now. You can start early. Based on my experience, when you accumulate 20, 30, 40 years of stuff, it's going to take you a long time to get rid of stuff. It takes the longest time to get rid of furniture. So plan accordingly. If you think that you will have a lot of stuff to go through and you're not planning on taking it with you, maybe you're downsizing or you're making a long distance trip, start decluttering tomorrow. Here are some suggestions for you. Here's what you need to prepare to make sure that your decluttering is effective and you're going to see progress right away. You need to have some tools, and you need to get your bins and your boxes labeled in categories, right? So we need to have trash and recycle cans. We also need to have storage bins. It's easy to move when your things are already packed in clear storage bins that are sturdy and they have lids, and you can just mark them with what they are. Use Post-it notes. Use painter's blue tape to help you because it's peelable and you can easily take it off and put it on something else. And make sure you have plenty of Sharpies around as well. And boxes need to be labeled the following way. We're going to keep stuff that you're going to put away in your bins. We're going to donate, throw stuff away, sell. That's when, if you need some opinions, maybe with selling some antiques or having a moving sale or garage sale. Items to shred, that's important, right? Nothing that has any financial information has to be shredded. It can't just be thrown away or recycled. And also another tote you need to set aside. It can be colorful to make sure that you know where it is all your important documents. So that way you're not running around when you're packing and looking for important things that you may need for your next destination, or maybe if you're getting a mortgage for your next property. Then determine your timelines. If you start going through your clutter and you realize it's going to take you a lot longer, or any of the timelines that we talked earlier need to be adjusted, right? Trust me when I say that. You don't realize how much stuff you accumulate until you start going through it. It's going to be an exercise, and it's going to give you an idea, once you start doing it, how long it's going to take you to go through everything. You need to actually schedule what I call declutter appointments with yourself, and you put them on your calendar. Try to do it first thing in the morning. That way you're not tired and you did not just complete a full day of running around errands and tasks. So Saturday mornings were great for a lot of my clients. Take advantage of your regular trash and recycle days, your township bulk days, and make it your mission to throw stuff away every time you have to put out your trash and recycle. That will help you get things moving out of your house, and rather than just making, a pile of things in one corner of your room or maybe in the garage. We do have a workshop, just the whole workshop, just like this one, that is completely focused on helping you declutter and helping you to do it stress-free. We actually help you design a plan, and we go room by room. So here's the link for you to take a look and see when the next one, a few coming up in the next months or so. So I definitely encourage you to sign up. All right, market analysis and pricing. So this is just a quick example for you of what I share with my clients when we sit down and figure out and put an action plan together. This is a 12-month overview for our local township for the last 12 months. And what I always go through is the first column is the months of the year. And then the second column is what we look at is how many homes were listed each of those months. And I encourage you to look at it when you get your printout to give you an idea on when were the most popular months, when everybody else was thinking about this is spring market, I'm going to go ahead and put my home on the market. So just to give you an idea, in this example, the highest month was last April, right? So April, there were 63 homes that went on the market. So if you want to compete with as least homes as possible, because you are trying to get the most amount of money possible, and remember, the more homes you compete with, the less money you will maybe be able to get, and also the less control you will have over negotiations. So the month where it was the quietest was actually December. Only 16 homes went on the market. The other good month was January. And in general, the rule of thumb is, I always suggest that if you want to be ahead of the game, ahead of everyone else who's thinking about spring market, January is a great month to put your home on the market. So the same applies in our community right now. Then what I also look at is how many homes went under contract which is the middle column that is separated by two vertical lines. It's called pended. And what you want to look at is to see how many homes were went on the contract, which month was the highest. And it looks like it was for the month of March. So 40 homes went under contract last March. And what does that tell you? That means that that was the highest number of buyers that were out and seriously shopping for a home in the month of March. And then the next column is to the right of the pended column. We're talking about units sold. That's how many sold, that's how many homes actually closed. And those buyers became homeowners in that month. And the highest number there was, let's see, 54. So that was the month of June, right? So that pretty much tells me that 54 homes closed in the month of June. That means that those buyers were shopping in the months, 2 months prior to that. That was April and May. All right, so just to give you an idea. So by doing these numbers for your particular neighborhood, and we can really tailor this to help you understand how to know your market so well, to help you understand when is the best time for you strategically. If you're going to tell me that you want the highest amount of money possible for your home, we're able to determine when would be the best time. Best on time is based on what happened in the last 12 months to be able to help you understand when is the best time for you to put your home on the market. And the other column that I always look at is called days on the market, which is the second to last and the last column all the way to the right. DOM stands for days on the market. And what that number states is this is how long it took for the home once it went on the market to actually get a contract, where an interested buyer placed an offer and that offer was accepted by the sellers. So as you can see, an average is, it's anywhere between 25 and 46 days. So really, the average is probably around a month, right? So that will give you a good idea how long it will take for your home roughly to sell based on the historical numbers. So once we have all this information for your own home, I am able to better advise you on what you will be able to expect for your particular home and for your neighborhood. If you are interested to get this kind of market analysis for 12 months for your own home and for your own neighborhood, I am more than happy to get this done and put that in the mail for you, so just let me know. All right, we are now talking about the market value of your home. This is critical. This is where we're going to figure out the target range for your home. And this is what I'm asking you to consider, okay? We need to think about this logically because all the information about your home, about your neighborhood, everything's available to buyers to find online. Today's buyers are very educated. They know where to find the information, and they use strictly numbers and figures and historical information to determine what they think that your home is worth. So that is exactly the same way we need to approach when we're trying to figure out the value of your home. So your home is not based on what you need to get out of it or what Zillow's estimate is worth. Zestimate, that is popular to look at. A lot of the time we feel it's almost like guesstimate because Zillow is not local. They don't know our local market as well as we do because we are the agents on the ground here every day. Your home, unfortunately, is not based on the memories and treasures of what you experienced here and is not based on the prices of homes where you're moving to, right? We are focusing on strictly facts and data, right? The value of your home is based on competition with other homes. It's based on the location, aggressive marketing, and its condition. So these are all the things that we talk about when we meet and we put that strategic plan together for you to make sure that we are meeting your goals and your needs. Next step, we need to set your home apart from everyone else as a competition. This is critical. This is not an option, right? Every home, even the best one, could use a little bit more sprucing up or doing something to make sure that it looks absolutely spectacular when the buyers see it going on the market for the first time, okay? It is your opportunity to make sure that you become a #1 on every buyer's list of homes. And here's how we do that. #1, consider getting your home pre-inspected ahead of time. I can't tell you how important it is and how it's going to make it absolutely less stressful once you do go on the market, okay? A lot of the time, that is the first hurdle, because it is the first thing that buyers do once you go on the contract. They get a home inspection done, and a lot of times it becomes a Christmas list for them, because it is inspector's job to make sure that they find everything that may be wrong, even the smallest things, even cosmetic items that is wrong for the house in their opinion, and that is the list they're going to provide to the buyer as a report. When you are pre-inspecting your home ahead of time, it is an opportunity to make sure that there is nothing serious with your home that may be detriment to the sale, and also to make sure that there's nothing that is, maybe safety hazard because you still live there. So when we encourage you to get a home inspection, we look at the most important items: your heating and air conditioning, your roof, plumbing, electrical, windows, siding. Those are the major things that we focus on, and really want to make sure that all those things are in good shape, right? Because if something comes up and it does need to be repaired, your home is not on the market, you have time to get estimates from a couple of contractors, and they make a decision. Are you going to fix it? Or perhaps you can't afford to be able to fix it. And then we discuss on how we're going to price our home based on the fact that it may need some work. Professional photographer, quality photos are a must. As you can see, that is the first thing that buyers see, and everyone is shopping online now. And the best example that I can give you is even if you look at Target or Walmart catalogs, when they're trying to sell you a $50 bag, the bed in the bag, they're not showing you just the bag. They're actually showing your whole bedroom, and they have that bed set up, and it looks gorgeous because they're trying to explain to you the experience that you can have while sleeping in that bed. Well, that is a $50 item, and we're trying to sell an item that is six figures, $200,000, $300,000. It's even that much more important to make sure that your home looks amazing and sparkling and gorgeous, because that is what's going to attract the buyers to schedule that appointment and come see it in person. Staging. If we can do staging with actual items or virtual staging if the home is vacant, think of staging as enhancing what your home currently has and making it more visually appealing. A lot of times our team works with what you have. However, we do have a lot of staging items that we do bring in, and we help you set this up. And I'll have some of the examples that I can show you of what we can do. Staging is very important because we are all visual creatures, and when we see things online, right? Think Pinterest, things catalogs and magazines, and how gorgeous everything looks in those. Pictures looking beautiful do matter. Then we ask you to work on homework. You need to create your home marketing portfolio. And this is important. We ask you to help us and tell us why you fell in love with your home when you bought it, right? Tell us about the story. Tell us about some things that maybe we can see that you love about your home. Tell us about your neighborhood, your favorite places to eat, parks, playgrounds. These are all the things that someone who is moving into the area who may not be familiar with the neighborhood would love to know. And who is better to tell the story than the homeowners? Here are some examples of the before and afters of the photos that were taken with a regular phone camera, and then the same photos that were done by a professional photographer after we did some moving around, we hung some photos, and we did some staging. So as you can see, lighting, positioning, and making home more appealing is what the goal is of good photography, good videography, as well as good staging. Here's some more examples for you. Believe it or not, all these rooms are empty. And the goal is to help buyers understand on how beautiful this room can look with just some simple furniture. They can position a certain way in the home to help them understand what kind of lifestyle that they can have in this home. And having this furniture definitely helps sell home faster. And there's actually studies have been done that it's always better to have home staged in one way and not sold vacant. So this is something that we work with you if your home is vacant. Step number 4, roughly 30 to 60 days prior to your goal, right? To you telling us this is the date when I want to put my home on the market. We sit down, we actually complete the paperwork in preparation, right? We're talking about timeframes, so we're putting them on the calendar. We're discussing what other documents may be needed and making sure that your homework is being completed by you. Here are a couple of things that I suggest that you work with. Number one is an easy exit listing agreement. I personally do not believe in long-term commitments and long-term contracts. And this is how I prefer to treat my clients. If you're not comfortable in listing your home even for 6 months because maybe you are not sure if you're going to get that new job, or you're nervous about the neighborhood where you would like to go, may not have any homes, then we create your listing contract for a shorter period of time, because we can always extend it, so that's not a problem. However, I want you to make sure that you're comfortable in knowing that you are only listing your home and you creating the contract for the period of time that you're comfortable with. Number 2 and 3, there should be performance and communication guarantee. This is your biggest investment. Whether you're selling and or buying as well, you want to make sure that you are being communicated with on a regular basis. You know exactly what's going on. You're getting feedback on showings, and your agent is speaking with you at least once or twice a week, so that way you know exactly what's happening, if there's anything that you need to do or your agent needs to know as well. Everything that you sign, any kind of legal documents, any kind of contracts that you create as part of your partnership to sell your home has to be in writing. And you also want to make sure that you get copies of those documents for your own file, because I can't tell you how many times when I started working with sellers after they worked with another agent, they told me, I don't know what my dates are. I don't know when I put my home on the market. I have no copies of my documents. So make sure that you get them as well. Goal number 2 is to go ahead and schedule the photo session and other social media sessions as pertaining to your strategic marketing plan. Sometimes those projects take time, and we want to make sure that we get them done in plenty of time before the target date of when your home is going to go on the market. Then we are also planning our per-listing marketing plan, talking about doing some soft advertising of your home in surrounding area, and making others aware that your home is getting ready to be listed. Then we're also discussing communication plan, right? What's going to happen between now until the listing is actually going to be put on the market, and then going forward? What does the weekly communication look like? What kind of updates? How do you want to be updated, right? What does the best communication looks and feels like to you? Do you want all the details, or do you want just a summary, and how often? So marketing updates are going to be emailed to you. There's going to be showings, feedback. There's going to be a lot of information coming to you. So we want to make sure that you're comfortable with the format on how that information is going to be coming to you. We're also going to be talking about 30-day marketing pricing reviews if we need to do that. It's important to stay ahead of the market and making sure that you're not reacting to what's happening, but actually anticipating things. So we're going to be talking to each other often and getting feedback for what do we think is happening, and are we positioned correctly? And also timeline expectations check, just to make sure that nothing in your timeline has changed. If there's anything that we need to know about, it's important that we're always communicating and making sure that we're on the same page. All right, so the home is on the market. Congratulations. Well, guess what? The work does not stop here. What we're going to be doing is carefully monitoring and making sure that your home is positioned correctly today on the market that is today. We're going to take a look at and see how many potential buyers are looking at your home online, how many of them are saving as their favorites, and then that translates into the number of scheduled appointments and also number of offers in the period of time. It's also important to remember that no matter what kind of market we're in, every 10 showings you should have an offer. So if we're not getting this response, then we need to figure out where's the challenge, what do we need to adjust, how do we need to be proactive in making sure that you're positioned correctly. That's why we are reviewing everything, all our marketing and materials and the feedback that we're getting every 3 or 4 weeks, depending on the market conditions, and making sure that we're responding to what kind of traffic we're getting to your home. At that point, what we're doing is we're reviewing, we're adjusting, and then we're reviewing to make sure that our adjustments are working. Then the best part, good news, we are going to receive an offer. We're going to negotiate all the terms because it's a full package. It's not just the price. And then we are going to put your home under contract. At that point, phase 2 starts. Phase 2 is contract to closing period. This is where we're going to sit down again and we're going to discuss that phase. And what that means is there's going to be new timelines to talk about. What are your responsibilities as a seller as per the contract agreement? Buyer is going to do their inspections, and I already mentioned earlier. Buyer is going to apply for the mortgage. They're going to get their appraisal done and finally get their mortgage commitment issued once the buyer's documents have been reviewed and approved. So all this time, we're going to be continuing to be in constant communication, make sure that everybody's on the same page and everybody's doing their job. And at that time, then we can finally talk about packing and ready to go to settlement and hopefully getting you to your next destination. I know that this slide is very much combined because the fact that once your home is on the market is probably another separate phase. This is where we're monitoring, we're working, making sure that your home is positioned properly. And then the next phase completely is when your home is under contract. Then we start a completely different part of the marketing and making sure that everything gets done correctly. So this is why I'm not going into it in more details because it is involved, it's complicated. So I prefer to do this one step at a time, one phase at a time, and not overwhelm you with more details on what actually happens once your home goes on the market. What do those timeframes look like? This is why it's important. Once your home goes under contract, great. We're stopping all of the marketing activity for your home, and we're starting to focus on the phase of now that your home's under contract, what's next, what to expect, what are your responsibilities as the seller. So here's what's next. If you have some questions that maybe I did not cover, or you would like to get more details on anything that we talked about in this workshop, you are welcome to schedule a in-home or a virtual phone call or Zoom consultation with me. It is absolutely complimentary. I am more than happy to discuss on what's on your mind and answer any of your questions. Besides workshop on helping you prepare your home, I do 5 other workshops, and we have a pretty packed schedule for the rest of this month as well as next month. You are happy to definitely check it out on the schedule as well and sign up and ask away and enjoy those. Also, we just rolled out our YouTube channel. We're excited about that. A lot of the workshops, a lot of the helpful videos will be posted there weekly, so I encourage you to check that out as well. Subscribe and make sure that you hit the bell to be notified when the videos are added to the channel. And if you are on social media, I am on Facebook. I encourage you to find me and send me a friend request to make sure that I stay in touch with you that well as well. Thank you so much for coming, and I will see you at the next webinar.